Hey, what's up everybody? Dennis here, EDC for Fun. Today we've got an absolute banger coming to us from Divo Knives. So this is the Stout V2. It is the update to the Stout V1, which is a knife that I absolutely love. I have thrashed on this thing, carried it a ton, and it has been an absolute joy to use. It has held up to everything that I've put it through, and just a pleasure to have this in my rotation. So when I heard about the V2, I was super excited. I reached out to Kevin and Colin, and they were kind enough to send me this prototype to check out. Now, this is not mine to keep. I'm going to be passing this off to another YouTube channel once I'm done. And so what I want to do in this video is talk about two things. One is the changes that are going to happen with the prototype, as well as the upgrades that have occurred since the V1. So real quick, we'll go ahead and talk about the changes. The first thing is going to be this filler tab that you see here is going to be gone on the production models. They're going to have a completely clean show side, and they're going to be running a milled clip, but it's going to be slotted for a wired clip. So you can either run a wired clip or a milled clip, and they're going to have dedicated right and left hand models. So you can, if you want, the clip on the other side or whatever, you just have to get the left-handed model. This, of course, is a right-handed model. So that's one change. Another change is going to be that they're going to be using Vanax SuperClean steel. This prototype has LMAX steel on it, which is a great steel, but Vanax SuperClean is definitely a really, really cool choice for this, especially considering you've got titanium bolsters, titanium liners, titanium clip, titanium hardware. So this will, basically be, a rust-proof knife virtually. So that's pretty exciting. Those are the changes that are going to occur from the prototype to the production model. The pre-sale for these, by the way, is already sold out. That happened about mid-August, and they were going for $325. They sold out all the different models they have. I've got a little sheet here. They have the Purple Haze Fat Carbon. These are right-handed models. They've got Arctic Storm Fat Carbon, both with a satin blade as well as an Arctic Storm Fat Carbon with a stonewash blade. Then they've got a White Storm Fat Carbon that has a two-tone DLC and satin blade. Those are all the four right-handed models. And then left-handed, they've got a Purple Haze Fat Carbon with satin blade, Arctic Storm Fat Carbon with a stonewash blade. And what will happen is once the pre-orders are ready to ship or sometime thereafter, they're going to have some more models available. They're going to retail at $375. Anybody who got in on the pre-order got a $50 discount, which is pretty cool. So when these are ready sometime next year, be prepared if you want one of these to act quick, because like I said, the pre-order did sell out. So whatever stock that they open up, when they're available, those I imagine are going to sell out pretty quickly as well. Let's see, those are the changes. Here's the specs: 3.5 ounces, 3.3 inch blade, 7.59 overall, 4.29 inch handle, 0.13 inch blade stock, 15 thousandths behind the edge. We'll talk about that here in a second. Vanax SuperClean steel, deep hollow grind. We got a 0.48 inch thick handle, contoured handles, titanium T8 hardware, which is absolutely phenomenal. Both the V1 and the V2 use T8 on everything. And I mean everything. The pivot, the lock bar insert, the body screws, the clip screws, everything on this is T8. So this is a one-tool takedown, which is just super convenient. and, substantially better than having T6s, which are prone to stripping. The hollow grind and the thinness behind the edge that I mentioned earlier, you're not going to get it on camera. But especially comparing to the V1, and the V1 had a very nice hollow grind on it. But this thing, when they say deep hollow grind, they mean deep hollow grind. I mean, this thing just feels phenomenal. So this is going to be an absolute slicing machine. And that belt satin looks so good. I do like a stonewash, but I got to go with the belt satin on this one. It just looks too darn good. Okay, so some of the differences between the V1 and the V2. The bolsters on the V1 were flat. The bolsters on the V2, excuse me, are milled, which feel really, really nice, give you a little bit of texture. Speaking of texture, the carbon on this one actually has a little bit of texture to it. The carbon on the V1 was very smooth, which looks really nice, but in use, I would prefer some texture on there. So I'm really happy with the texturing on this one. And not only the texturing, but the contouring. This thing has substantially more contouring all the way around. You can see around the bolsters, around the scales. Everything is just rounded and refined. They did an absolutely bang up job getting this thing to just feel incredible in hand. And part of that feeling that you'll see is actually due to the thickness or thinness of the V2. So the V2 is a little bit thinner, and with that contouring on there, man, this thing just melts right into your hand. It feels phenomenal. Another thing they did was they added jimping. So you can see the V1 has no jimping, which was fine. I'm not somebody who says you have to have jimping, but when you add jimping and it's done well, as this is, it's spaced well, it's not too aggressive, it gives you some traction without being uncomfortable, and it's just placed very, very well. If whether you're choked or whether you're holding it in a standard grip back here, or if you're choked up, it just feels really, really good the way it's placed and the way it's cut into there. Just excellent job. Of course, you have the same deployment as the V1. You've got the opening hole, so you can reverse flick it, of course. You can thumb flick it. And this thing has a really nice detent. Just break it and it flies out. The retention on it is really good. I've probably have to come off camera here. If I wanted to shake that out, you've really got to whip that thing to get it out. So really happy with the detent on there. The fit and finish is incredible. Of course, the fat carbon, the purple haze looks sweet. But if you notice, I'll see if I can get this thing to focus. Let's come back a little bit. There's no gaps. All the transitions are incredibly smooth. Everything is just done really, really well. The OEM on this guy, I believe, is Bestech, which is different from the V1. They used QSP, and QSP did a phenomenal job. Like I said, this knife is an absolute banger. But for the changes that were made, the updates on this, Bestech did a phenomenal job. I'm really excited to get mine. I'm going for the Arctic Storm with the satin blade, and it's just going to look so good, like without that filler tab and with this milling on there, and just like I said, the contours. I can't wait to get mine and use it, put it in the rotation, and you know how we do around here. So it's going to be a little while, so that's always a bummer, but when it arrives, I'll be super, super excited for that. So a couple other things, just really quick, as far as differences, I did want to look at that you notice right away in hand is the weight. Getting the V2 in hand immediately, what I noticed was a weight reduction. And so what you'll see is on the V2, we're coming in at 3.5 ounces. The V1, you're at 4.1. So it's basically half an ounce lighter, and it's immediately noticeable when you pick it up. If you're familiar with the V1, as soon as you grab a V2, you're gonna feel it, and you're gonna say, man, this got a really good weight to it. And in hand, with the weight reduction, the contours, the milling, the texturing, the jimping, all the little refinements really add up to make a huge difference with this thing. The V1 is phenomenal, but this thing just takes it to another level. Another thing I absolutely love about it is the way that they did this milled clip. You see that ramp coming up. Sometimes with milled clips, if that ramp is not done correctly, getting the knife in and out of your pocket is kind of a chore. If the ramp is too shallow, you've basically either got to pull this up to get it over the the hem of your pocket, or just jam it on there, shove it on there, whatever. Worst case scenario, I had a clip that I had to actually take to the belt grinder and put a ramp on there myself, because I just couldn't get it to go into my pocket. And not only does this one go in smooth, but it's got excellent retention on there. So once it is in your pocket, it feels very secure, yet it comes in and out with no problem. So that's absolutely welcomed. Per usual, you've got the leather Divo pouch, soft lining in there. Love seeing that. And it also came with cleaning cloth and a Ranger eye patch, as well as this sticker. Like I said, this one's not mine to keep, so all that stuff's going back in the box, going off to the next channel to check out. With that being said, guys, I want to thank you for checking out the video. I hope you have a fantastic day. Leave me a like and a comment. Subscribe if you're not already. God bless you. See ya.